We interrupt this transmission to bring you the following live broadcast.
How's everyone doing tonight? Woo! It's Wednesday. It's 6 o'clock somewhere. With Karina ready in her chair. And almost 10 whole people watching from home. Are you ready? I said, are you ready? It's time for the ThinkSoJoE Show!
Look, I fixed it. Had an issue last week where it just like hung for like 30 seconds before it cut to us, and I was like, what the heck? I gotta fix it. And I forgot all about it until I accidentally pressed the 559 button, and it was sitting here like, wait a second, why didn't this cut to us, like to the split screen here? And then I realized, oh, I see what happened. There's a delay before the music turns off. So like when I cut back to this scene, the music doesn't play again. So there's a delay, and I put it before the switch to the camera instead of before the delay or before the cutoff for the music. So yeah, that explains last week.
If you go back and watch last week's episode, like not live, the rerun, like all the stuff of us talking about it being early and everything is there. Like it's part of the video.
I know.
Okay.
I hit the button a couple of seconds late this week because I'm like looking at I still don't have the clock on my Stream Deck. I'm looking at like the one on my iPad. It's like, oh wait, that second hand just passed by where 5:59. Oh well. Karina not here again. Karina's not here again this week. She's taken she took a shift at work. Hopefully she'll be back next week. No promises. So but we'll see how that goes. Kirsten, welcome. Thank you for hanging out on both Twitch and getting our number up there. All one of you. And also on YouTube, and hopefully other people will join us. Normally, Laura's here yelling at us that she doesn't want us to be on the air. And it's a holiday. It's like the biggest drinking night of the year here, so I don't know how many people are actually tuning in from the U.S., but I'm surprised Laura's not here because it's not Thanksgiving there. I don't know. Maybe it's a holiday I don't know about. Who knows?
Probably.
Anyway. Today's also the day the mask mandate goes into effect, or was that yesterday? It was yesterday. Yesterday.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. The mask mandate in Erie County went into effect, which, I mean, that's phase one. Phase two is going to be to require vaccines for things like dining and movies and, stuff like that, which... for all you complaining about this mask mandate, be glad I'm not the Erie County executive because we would have skipped straight to phase two. Like, this mask mandate wouldn't be a thing. It would be, you guys have to be vaccinated to do anything. I mean, you already
I agree.
You already have to be to go to like Sabres games and Bills games, and still we have a large chunk of the population that's just like, well, I'm just not going to go to things now. Like,
there's a few venues that were already requiring vaccine.
Specifically, Mohawk and Nietzsche's were, and now a couple of other venues have added. One that comes to mind is Good Bar. I guess the reason they went with the mask mandate instead of the vaccine mandate is, from what Mark Polenkars has said, is restaurant owners were kind of like, we don't think it's fair to our staff to have to check everybody's vaccination cards. And I could see that, I guess, to an extent. When you've got a place like Mohawk or a place like Nietzsche's, a place like Good Bar, you've got a door guy. who's sitting there and able to check all IDs and everything because he's taking IDs and taking money, so you might as well check the vaccine cards too. And restaurants don't necessarily have theirs, Laura. She wouldn't go to a venue with a vaccine mandate, so she gets to stay home.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
But yeah, I mean, I could see that, but I mean, because I guess that would probably require a restaurant to hire another staff member to kind of sit at the door and just be like, "You got your vaccine card? Okay, go ahead."
Who wants to do that fucking job?
Yeah, right. I don't know. I mean,
I wouldn't. Fuck that.
that just sounds like soul-crushing boredom. And this is coming
That
from
just sounds like you have to deal with people who are just assholes on a regular basis, face to face.
That's also true. I know a thing or two about jobs that are nothing but soul-crushing boredom because I worked overnights in a hotel for 15 years. So
I worked retail management for 10, so I would actually be at my store right now.
fun.
No!
No, I know. I would be doing this show and then scrambling to get ready in a half an hour and get out the door to get to work if I were still working my previous job. So thankfully, I work at home. Speaking of assholes, I almost got into a fight the other night. You're one of the few people that knows this. I haven't.
Ooh, I love this story.
Yeah, I haven't told a lot of people about that. I almost got into a fight the other night. I was at the Anti-Flag show. And we caught Dollskin. We caught them from halfway back in the venue, just like we had just gotten downstairs because I got introduced to Bad Cop's merch people who are like huge AEW fans and apparently also work for Less Than Jake. And my buddy Brandon knew them, so he was like, "Oh, you got to meet these two." Like. And, the Bad Cop merch guy's wearing an Adam Cole t-shirt. His girlfriend's wearing a Britt Baker t-shirt. So it's like, that's cool. That's adorable. Couples wardrobe. So I was talking to them and I'm like, all right, I got to go downstairs. I want to watch the bands. So I went back down, watched Dollskin from halfway back of the venue. And then we got up front for Bad Cop and we stayed up for Anti-Flag. And the reason I did this is, because it was an AEW Adam Cole shirt, Laura asked. So we stay up front for Anti-Flag because, Karina loves Anti-Flag. And so it's like, all right, cool, we'll stay up here. But I already knew, it was going to be a bad time. Just because, I was getting bumped around during Bad Cop. And I'm just like, people are going this nuts for Bad Cop. This is going to get insane for Anti-Flag. But I'm like, you know what? I'm okay. I'm gonna stay up here because Karina wants to be up here. She loves this band. I'm gonna stay up here for her. Well, some overly aggressive asshat decides to start pushing and shoving, and I kind of pushed him back a little bit with my elbow, and he started doing it again. So I did it again. And I turn around, I look him dead in the eyes, and then he starts getting right up in my, and he's right up on my back with his arms up and his elbow's right in my ear. So I'm still trying to shove this dude back. And finally I'm getting pissed off, start really throwing elbows at the dude. And then we kind of start going face to face. Some big dude just got right in the middle and just kind of broke everything up right then. And I took a swing at the guy. I felt like I hit Karina. She says I didn't. I apologized profusely because I thought I did, but she says I didn't.
I don't think she'd lie to you about that.
I don't think so either. And she was, I was like, you know what, fuck this. I'm gonna go watch from the back, have fun. And I just storm off and I go stand, I just walk way towards the back of the room. And I turn around and Karina's right there with me. I'm like, you can stay up there. I know you really want to see these dudes. I'm not into the band. I'll watch from back here and you go have fun. And she said, no, it's fine. I'm going to stay back here with you. And I'm just like, you really don't have to do that. But she insisted. And then she was saying she wishes she would have taken a few swings at that dude. Cause that dude was just being an asshole, I ended up, I messaged my buddy Brandon after the show because we didn't say goodbye to them. Him and his girlfriend and her friend, and so I just messaged him.
Irish Goodbye, my favorite.
What's that?
Irish Goodbye, my favorite.
Yeah. So I shot him a message. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry we bailed without saying goodbye. I was just fighting with some overly aggressive asshat and decided to watch the rest of the show from the back. And I saw the dude on the way out, and I was like so tempted to just like shove him, but I'm just like, no, I want to come back here and watch some shows someday, maybe play here someday. I'm not going to start a fight with some fucking random asshole. Like, let me just get outside, get my Uber, go home.
Right call. Good job. Proud of you.
So we kind of went out, and I had met this dude, Aiden, who was friends with Brian, who actually, I didn't know him before Brian passed. He actually reached out to me like right after. There's this picture of Brian at the Everclear show, and the dude standing right next to him is this dude, Aiden, and I guess they didn't know each other at the time. And I always tell the story of that picture where I'm just like, Brian showed up at 4:30. I showed up at I rolled out of bed at 5 and showed up at like 6:45 and was right next to Brian for Everclear. So this dude was like right in front of me at the show. I met him, and then like we were chatting after the show, and he was like, yeah, no, I get what you're saying. You know, if some dude is right up behind you like that, you shouldn't use your elbows. Use your ass, really grind in there and push him back. Wink a little. Yeah, maybe.
They like that, though.
Sometimes they never like the elbow most of the time.
Where was the show at?
This was at the Rec Room.
Okay. I've only been there once to see Stone Temple.
So if anybody from After Dark is listening, I did not start a fight at your venue. I actively walked past the dude without fighting him, just walked right by him, left the building, didn't cause shit, and that was out of respect to the venue, and also out of respect to not wanting to get arrested, not wanting to get hurt before I go to San Francisco next month. Just, logic kind of took over after I stepped back, and I'm standing there, Karina's watching the band, she's singing along, I'm texting you guys. Guys, hey, guess what just happened? And then Ryan and I just get into this whole discussion over, there's just something about Anti-Flag that we just can't put our finger on why we don't like them, but we just don't like them. And
I was a part of that discussion too.
Yes, you were. And I kind of and I was just, but while I was up front, I'm observing the band, because that's what Brian used to go to shows to do, was observe the band and learn and take some things away from that and kind of pick up some ideas of things to do on stage, ways to play, stuff like that, which I've done. I've brought when I saw the name escapes me. The Bomb Pops. When I saw the Bomb Pops, I was like, oh man, that was really cool. I'm gonna do something like that, and started playing one of our oldest song, actually our oldest song, a little bit differently because of the way, because of something I picked up from them. So I'm trying to watch Anti-Flag and do the same thing. And but I immediately get caught up in the guitar player vocalist. His name is Justin Sane. Justin
sounds correct.
Sane. And I only know this because it was on his guitar picks. I could see them from where I was. So I'm looking at his guitar, and I'm like, wait a second, he's playing an LTD guitar. That's ESP's low end models, their the Epiphone to their Gibson. And I'm looking at, and I know this because I have a very similar guitar. So I start kind of trying to see what the model is, because on those LTD guitars, the older models have on the 12th fret the model name, and on the newer ones it's on the headstock. But I'm looking, I'm trying to figure out what that is, and then after I figured out what kind of guitar it is, I start looking and I see he's got 7 strings on this guitar. One is not straight, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on with this guitar? And then so now I'm looking at all the different parts of this dude's guitar. Something is wrong with this guitar. And he just kind of modded a 7th string on it, which is weird because I don't pick up any kind of like 7-string vibes from any of their music. And it just looks weird to me. And so like then as I'm standing in the back, I'm just like, how much does that guitar cost? Oh, it's only $400 on Reverb right now. Like, and it's only supposed to have 6 strings. So yeah, this dude did some weird ass fucking modification to his guitar. I don't like it.
I'm sure it makes it so much easier to play.
Yeah, I'm sure. It was just because like the strings, like I noticed first the string spacing was like tiny. It was like, because it was like half the width it should be, just between the, you know, the 2 low end strings. And I'm just, what the fuck is going on with this guitar? And that was the only thing I could think of, other than like, you know, so far all the songs I like by these guys are the ones the bass player sings. Which, you know, it's nothing, you know, it's nothing against the vocals from the guitar player. It's more of like the songs he sings are stupid.
Geez, were you watching Anti-Flag or were you watching Alkaline Trio?
I mean, I did see Alkaline Trio a couple of weeks ago, so yeah. Buying a 7-string guitar is way too corporate for a punk of that caliber, I guess.
Well, they're trying to work some Korn songs into their set.
I guess. It was just.
That shit's back now.
Yeah. It was just off-putting to me, though, as a guitar player who owns a similar guitar, you know, a slightly lower-end model, but, like, it was just off-putting. Just looking at that guitar, it was just, what is wrong with this guitar? Like, what's going on here? And then, you know, with this dude with his elbow right in my ear, wasn't helping, so...
It'd be like if I was picking up on somebody lip syncing.
Yeah, exactly.
Subtle differences.
Yeah, I got hit in the nose at the uncanny valley of guitars. Yeah, I got hit in the nose, like right on the bridge of the nose, like no damage, like it was fine the next day. Karina, I guess, got hit in the eye, and again, no damage. I still feel like I accidentally connected with her when I swung at the dude. But she, like I said, she insists it wasn't me, so she got hit in the eye somehow. But, like, I mean, come on, guys. Pit etiquette, right? Like, show etiquette. We've talked about this on the show before. I mean, not you and I specifically, but this has been a topic of discussion on the show many times before. Show etiquette. You know, like, other people are there to enjoy the show, too. Don't be an asshole.
I'm going to guess that guy missed that episode.
I would imagine so. I remember we did an episode and we were talking about this. It was Brian and Brian was co-hosting, and we had EJ Kaiser of Final Decline on the show, and we were just having this discussion. And Brian's telling us about he went to a show. I can't think of the band off the top of my head, but he went to a show, and one dude was in the pit with like steel toe boots, like kicking people, and Brian was like, talking to, like, went to security, like, you got to do something about this guy. And the guy's like, you knew what you were getting into coming to this kind of music, coming to this kind of concert. Like, that's, you know, you have a reasonable expectation when you go. I think it was a metal band. I think, you know what, it was maybe Avenged Sevenfold. I don't know. But you have a reasonable expectation. If you've been to concerts, you have a reasonable expectation. You go to the show, there's going to be moshing. People are going to be slamming into each other. You're going to get bumped around a little bit. You know, you don't have an expectation of you're going to get seriously injured by some dude who's literally in there to hurt people. You know, like, so.
I do know.
You know, so why this security guard, you know, that Brian had talked about, didn't do anything about it is beyond me. I guess, you know, it's a heavy metal show. You're supposed to get hurt. No, you're not.
And if someone responds like that, I kind of wonder what their drywall looks like.
Right?
Bunch of hand-sized holes, I bet.
All surrounded by cans of Monster Energy. No offense to anybody who drinks Monster Energy.
Oh no, people are still drinking Monster Energy after all the shit that they've had going on.
Yeah. I don't know. It's they just have White Claws and you know, empty White Claw cans and Monster cans surrounded by like broken drywall on the floor. Swiss cheese drywall. Yeah, I don't know.
You forgot about the plastic generic handle of vodka.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, that's just, yeah, I expect to deal with some shit when I go to a show, but, don't be an overly aggressive asshole if you go to a show. Like, there are other people there. The band's not just playing for you. There's other people trying to enjoy the show, or in my case, trying to study the show, because like I said, half the songs I didn't enjoy, but that's just me. I don't know. I mean, the bass player of Anti-Flag is cool as shit. Like, he's like reached out to me on like Twitter or Instagram or something when I bought one of the records. Like, oh man, I hope you enjoy it. Can't wait to see you in Buffalo. Like, so he's cool.
Cool.
But the rest of the bands were fantastic, though. Dollskin and Bad Cop, Bad Cop. I know you're into Dollskin. I never heard of them until like until I was like getting ready to go to this show. Like, I should probably listen to this opening band. Kind of put them on and listened to them. Went to the mall, like had them on my headphones. Like, oh, this is actually really good.
They're a band that I came across on TikTok.
TikTok, okay.
Yeah, no, I've actually come across quite a lot of really awesome bands on TikTok.
Maybe I should check out TikTok sometime.
It's worth at least going in and watching some stuff. Like once you start like liking stuff and swiping and stuff, that it figures out what you want to see.
Okay. I definitely I've definitely seen some TikTok videos, but I don't have an account. I've never actually like typed TikTok into my browser or my app store or anything like that. So, but I've definitely been sent videos. Yeah, Joe on TikTok, LOL. She's not wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll get on TikTok. I'll start doing some dances and shit. I don't know. What do you? I don't know what people on TikTok do. I'm old, man.
It's all over the place. Like I follow like a whole bunch of creators who are just educators about ADHD. I follow a lot of trans creators. Like they have there's a different subsection of TikTok for everyone.
Kind of like Twitter, but with video.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Something like that. Okay.
From what we're talking about, yeah, that's a decent enough explanation.
I could see that. TikTok is for 20-year-olds and under. Look at the look. Look at he's on TikTok.
It's for 20 years old and under, I'm in fucking trouble.
I mean, my kid's 17, and I'm pretty sure she's not on TikTok, so I think she's only on Instagram, so she don't even follow me. She follows me she has two accounts. She has like her like personal account, and she has a business account. She was going to start an Etsy store. Kirsten says Kevin is also 20. Look at that face. Look at that. It does not lie.
Thank you, Kirsten. Just add another 20 to that and you'll be correct.
I'll say I think it's fair to say that you and I do not look our ages.
I think that's just like a millennial thing. Like we've been pumped with so many goddamn chemicals through like food and shit that like we're preserved.
You might be right about that. Inundated with those milk commercials, I've got strong bones because I drink milk, all that shit back when we were kids. And then the milk's got all the fucking hormones in it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess that is fair because look at our drummer. He's like, we thought he was in his 20s.
Early 20s. I thought he was like 24.
No, I remember when Brian was like, hey, this is John. He's going to be in our band. And I'm thinking like, dude, I don't want to be in a band with a kid. and then he's like, yeah, guys, I'm 32 and I got a kid and like, what? Okay. you're close enough to us. Kirsten says, I used to say the pharmacy job was aging me drastically, and my coworkers are like, you look your age, though. And she says, like, yeah, I know, but us gays aren't supposed to. John's 30-something. I don't know if it's 32.
I think it's 33 or 34.
I was going to say, I think it's like 33 or 34, because I'm pretty sure Ryan at, I think 32 is the youngest right now.
But yes, Kirsten, us gays are not supposed to age at all.
What about me, though? I'm like a straight white guy, and I haven't aged other than losing my hair. And gaining weight.
The chemicals, that's what I said.
Yeah, it's got to be. Gaining weight. I'm losing weight. I'm under 205 now. I was at 204.6 when I weighed in today. So, look out, Roderick Strong. I'm coming for that Cruiserweight Championship.
I have literally no idea how much I weigh.
I got very conscious of that when I got up to 225. Because my chair that I'm sitting in right now is rated for either 225 or 250. And I'm like, fuck. Because, like, these chairs here are just, they're rated for, like, 3 hours, for, like, an hour of sitting a day or something like that. It was just, John, that mute from the ThinkSoJoE show. Yeah, that's the guy. He's 30-something, yeah. But these chairs are rated for, they're called manager chairs, but they're rated for only a couple of hours of use a day, which is ridiculous. So it's like, okay, if something happens to this chair, I'm going to have to buy another chair. So I need to lose the weight so I'm not hitting that limit of how much this chair can take. So and also to, you know, feel better about myself and start looking better and not being as self-conscious on stage, you know, like was kind of a little bit of that was, you know, like self-care, I guess. But I dropped 20 pounds in the last couple of months, and I'm kind of thinking like I want to drop this last 4.6 before I go to California in a couple of weeks. But that would require actually like doing stuff like exercise. And I just haven't felt like doing it.
I mean, don't beat yourself up about it. That's how you end up with problems.
Right. Right. But I mean, I know tonight's not going to happen because I've got like $100 and something, like a 10,000 word job I got to do tonight because I procrastinate on everything. You sent me the things you might not know script last week, and I said I will make sure I shoot this before Sunday. And Monday morning, I'm sitting here editing, and I'm posting updates on Facebook, and you posted the screenshot of me saying that I was of me saying that I was going to do it before Sunday, and I'm like, well, to be fair, I shot the video on Friday. I just didn't get around to editing it until Monday morning. So,
well, in this one, you did look like you had slept, so I could tell you didn't shoot it at 3.
Right. I'm gonna try and get. Well, I guess tomorrow's probably not gonna work. It's Thanksgiving. I'm going to Karina's mom's house. I'm gonna try and shoot this one by Friday too, if I can. Hopefully, get it. Hopefully finish it before Monday morning, before it's before it's due. I haven't even looked at the script yet, so I don't even know what it is, but I'm sure whatever it is fantastic.
Well, yeah, I wrote it. Of
course, I know you write good stuff, man. We got people suggesting stuff. I gotta send some of that stuff to you. It's in some of the comments of the recent videos. But yeah, what's funny is the first video we did together was that Gin Blossoms, the dark history of the Gin Blossoms hate jealousy, and the Rock and Roll True Stories guy released a video on the exact same topic like 3 hours before we did, just coincidentally, and then he actually has done that video again. It's a different video, same topic, same information, just different wording and probably different video, different clips that he used, but he's done that video now twice. And then we did one a couple of weeks ago. I don't remember which one, but we did one And then 3 days later, he did the same exact topic we did. So it's like, man, get out of our heads.
It was the Winger Beavis and Butthead
That's right.
one.
I meant to send you a video last night. There was I was watching a video from Fact Fiend with Carl Smallwood about the HD remasters of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and how yes, how bad they are.
Oh, they're so bad.
I will find that video and I'll send it to the band chat because there's a bunch of there's a couple of references to the Gur-Arg thing in there too. So Laura says, Joe, shut up, it's sound time. Yes, it is. We've got new music from our friends in the Long Cold Dark, who I will undoubtedly see in San Francisco in a couple of weeks, because they're just as big of Metallica fans, if not bigger than I am. This is from their new album, There Are No Answers, which will be available on all digital storefronts and streaming services this Friday. And this is the title track from that album. It's called There Are No Answers on all WNY Think So Joe show. Find the right button. There it is. All right, The Long Cold Dark, friends of the show, friends of mine. I've gone on road trips with them to see Metallica. So not going with them to San Francisco, but I'm sure I will see them while I'm there. That song called There Are No Answers from their new EP that's coming out on Friday called There Are No Answers. And you could get that on all digital storefronts and streaming services as of midnight Friday morning. And
I will remember.
I am looking forward to that. Their last EP, Captive Audience, is one of my favorite local releases ever. I tend to listen to that quite a bit. So I'm really looking forward to this one.
Sorry, I was just flipping through my tabs real quick to pull the YouTube video back up, and I had Twitter porn. It surprised me.
As I'm scrolling through Twitter, I keep seeing things that you've liked, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
Are you learning new things about yourself, Joe?
No, well, maybe.
Okay.
But I'm like, how do I like turn off? So I turned off like your retweets, but it doesn't turn off your favorites. So I'm still seeing all your. I'm like, fuck. All right, I'm gonna turn the retweets back on then, because like the only reason I turned it off was because of like seeing all your favorites come up. But apparently there's no way to turn that off. So anyway.
I'm not like retweeting porn or anything.
No.
Like,
not saying you are. I'm just like, but like every other post on my timeline is, Katie like this, like, oh, okay. Like, where's the stuff I'm following?
Sorry.
It's all good.
Some of us have no lives but Twitter because we're severely depressed.
It's the Twitter algorithm. What are you going to do? Kirsten says not yet anyway, as far as me discovering new things about myself.
It's never too late as I continue to learn.
I guess. Killer Camp might be airing internationally next week, Laura says, which is the show Lexi Rain is on that got pulled after 2 episodes. I'm trying to, it's coming back to ITV over in Europe. I've been following them on Twitter and trying to kind of still thinks Bruce is the killer. Anyway, if you watch the show, you know Bruce is the killer. Anyway, I've been following them on Twitter, and I guess they're bringing it back to ITV, and I'm trying to figure out how to watch that with my VPN. because I really want to continue watching the show, and I don't know if or when they're going to bring it back to the CW here in the States, or the WB, or one of the two of those.
It's the CW.
Yeah.
It hasn't been the WB for a very long time.
You're right. Yeah, because then they merged with like UPN, and then they became the CW or something. I don't know.
That's exactly what happened.
Okay, cool. I'm not completely oblivious to network TV history, I guess. But
so I have a question.
Sure.
What the fuck is ITV?
Apparently, it's a network over there in Europe.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So the show Killer Camp, it's a European American show, English American show, and they
bring back my network. Sorry.
And they like, so the show was like a joint venture with like ITV and the CW. But the CW was like, yeah, this show's no good, and decided to pull it after 2 weeks. You know what show was on, and still is on at 8 p.m. on Sunday nights on the CW, is Legends of the Hidden Temple. Weren't you and I supposed to like fill out the audition form and go try out for that at some point?
We were supposed to.
Yeah, we never did. We really should have.
Story of my life, Joe. Story of my life. I was supposed to, but I never fucking did.
I did the Terry Funk story for Wrestle with Andy last night, and one of the lines was a quote from Terry where he's like, "The reason I'm not a millionaire is I do things that I wanted to do instead of things I should have done." It's like, yeah, that makes sense. That's probably about back to those ADHD TikToks.
that's the majority of my TikTok feed is ADHD shit.
Okay. Yeah, I maybe I'll check it out. I don't know. I've just been kind of like, I'm always resistant to like, it's weird because I love new technology, but I'm always resistant to like new platforms. Like when Facebook came around, I'm like, what the fuck do I need this for? I got MySpace. Right? And then like and then MySpace went away and Facebook became the thing. And then like Twitter came along. It's like, what the fuck is the point of this now? And now I'm like always on Twitter. And then like Instagram came along. I'm like, what the fuck do I need this for? And now like I'm on Instagram all the time. Like, so maybe it'll be one of those things where I'm just like, yeah, what do I need this for? And then I get it and I'm like, oh.
And now we're begging for just MySpace back. Just that. That's all I want. Like, I hate all this other shit we got now. Just give me back my MySpace.
Apparently, there's like a new social media platform that is like identical to MySpace. I can't remember what it was called, but it was identical. Laura points out that MySpace is still around, but we're talking about.
I know MySpace is still around. I want 2005 MySpace back.
Precisely. And like, but apparently there's a website that is like identical to like 2005 MySpace. And I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but I saw it trending on Twitter a couple of weeks ago. And like somebody shared a screenshot from it, and it was like holy shit, that brings me back. So I don't know, maybe we'll get a new social media network that's kind of closer to what we preferred from MySpace than what we've got with Facebook.
Space Hey.
That's the one. Space Hey. You are correct.
Google's correct.
Google is
I
correct.
just read Google.
But yeah, that's yeah. So
yeah, that's my top 8, motherfucker.
Yeah, I used to, I used to be one of the people who would just like, fuck with my, have all the like code and shit in my page so I could customize it however I wanted. And I had like this whole Mortal Kombat 2 theme to my profile, where like my top 8 was like my number 1 and my number 4 were like player 1 and player 2. Laura predicts social media will be dead in 5 years.
Oh, I fucking hope so.
I mean,
I kind of wish we would just all be dead in 5 years. Just Gone. All of us. Bye.
I'm the only reason I stay on Facebook, because there's definitely been times where I'm like, I need to get the fuck off this platform, is because like I have shit to promote. Like, I'm there because I have this show. I'm there because I have, this, the band. I have things you might not know. I have all this shit to promote. So I'm just like, I guess I'll stay on social media.
Well, I mean, really, the reality with like promotion on social media goes is Facebook is starting to become pretty much useless as far as that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like as far as like the Facebook brand goes, Instagram is better for promoting shit, but like most people are doing their promoting through TikTok and Twitter now.
Kirsten says she needs social media because she has ADHD and she'll forget her friends exist otherwise. I think that's, I mean, that's something to be said for Facebook, is I do chat with some people that I, kind of lost contact with. We don't talk on the phone. We don't text. So, I have Facebook and I can contact them. So like, I mean, like one of my friends is going through some shit that, I went through like a while back, and he's been messaging me on Facebook about it because we don't, he doesn't call me. He doesn't text me. Like, I don't know anybody's numbers. Karina doesn't even like text or call me, which is why like when she called when Brian died was like a big deal. And I knew it was something important, but I mean, so Facebook, I'll give Facebook credit for, keeping me in touch with some of my oldest friends, but otherwise I don't talk on the phone ever. I try not to. I really try not to. If you want to hear my voice on the phone, call Duntire.
Duntire, I fucking forgot about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Call Duntire.
I've actually called specifically to hear you.
Yeah. Kirsten calls her mom and her grandma, and that's it. I talk to my grandma on the phone occasionally, because my family is like terrible at keeping in touch with each other. My mom will text me. She never calls me. She texts me. I text her. And then like the rest of my family I talk to on Facebook if I need to talk to them. So, yeah, it's kind of, I mean, but my family's, not close like that. So, like I always feel bad because like I call my grandma on her birthday, she calls me on mine, and I'll call her on like Christmas or whatever. And occasionally I'll just think of like, man, I should really call my grandma. But a lot of the time I don't call, but even when I do call, she's like, you're the only grandchild that calls me. Like, oh, I barely call you. But I don't like being on the phone. I like, that's absolute. I do not like being on the phone. Like I dread calling for customer service for anything. I had to call, who was it? I had to call somewhere couple of weeks ago and do something through customer service. But I was so thankful that the entire call took 2 minutes from like the automated system picking up to them solving my problem. Because I hate being on the phone. Just like there are things that I absolutely 100% have to do that because like I'm going to be it's going to cause major problems otherwise, and I haven't done them because I don't want to talk to anybody on the phone.
Been there a lot.
I'm just like, I know I need to do this, but you go to the website and it's like, call this number and we'll help you. Like, fuck. I don't want to call the number. I don't want to talk to anybody. It's just, okay, episode 3 of Killer Camp is on the first. Final episode is on final episode. There's supposed to be 8 episodes. Are they just like running them back to back to back like every night, or I don't know. Supposed to be like 8 episodes. But anyway, Kirsten says she started calling her grandmammy during the pandemic because she didn't want her to be lonely, and now it's such a habit she probably hates it. Yeah,
so your grandma wants you to not call anymore. That's interesting.
My grandma will rush me off the phone Because I don't think my grandma likes to be on the phone either. Okay,
I'm the one who rushes off the phone.
Yeah, I am not. I dread talking on the phone. If I can send an email and be done with it, then I'm happy about that. They're rushing through the series, 1 episode per night. Okay, cool. So I will try to find a way to watch the remaining episodes because, 1, I really got into the show watching it, and 2, I really want to support Lexi. I don't know how much support it would be if I'm watching through a VPN from here or if I like just kind of find a place to download the episodes later. I'm sure somebody can help me out with that because I haven't done that in so long. But yeah, you know exactly who.
I cannot.
Okay. I thought you could. That's why I thought you were smiling there.
No. I mean, it depends on
You
how
cannot.
legal you're trying. Yeah.
Right.
For legal reasons, I cannot.
Right. Kirsten wants to try and make out to the acoustic show on December 18th. Is that
We're playing an acoustic show?
Not us. Is that are you talking about the all WNY? Oh, that one with Lexi. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Lexi Rain is part of a show on. I'm pretty sure it's December 18th. She's playing an acoustic set. I guess Astra Beulah and Allie Burns are also on that. And I got super excited because I'm like, oh, Lexi's coming home. I could go see Lexi and see these other people I'm friends with because I'm friends with Astra Beulah and I know Allie Burns. Like I've met her, I've talked to her. We're social media friends, but like I don't, I wouldn't say we're like, like close friends or anything. But I would love to go to that show. Unfortunately, I'm in San Francisco that day. So, I mean, not unfortunately, because I'm really looking forward to being in San Francisco. And I don't know exactly what I'm doing on the 18th because, the Metallica show's the 17th. The Niners game I'm going to is on the 18th. I did get an email from Metallica, like, here's all this Metallica-themed stuff going on in San Francisco on the 18th. So, will Lexi be allowed to go if she's the killer? It's a good question.
So, December 18th, Lexi Rain, Astra Beulah, Milo Dunn, Sidney Driggs, Jim Wachowski, I said it wrong the first time, Allie Burns, Nurse Joyful, and Isaac at Stamps.
That sounds like a great lineup. I'm bummed I can't go, but I'm also like not because I'll be in California and just enjoying San Francisco. Kirsten says, am I saying Metallica is cooler than Noah Westfall? Look, I love Noah. He's like one of the coolest people I know. He's been to my house many times. And we've booked him many times. But yeah, I'm saying Metallica's cooler than what's funny is Noah and his fiance, they posted a picture of them with a friend of theirs, and I'm just sitting there looking at this picture and the the tags, and I'm just like, guys, I know that girl's dad. Like, I'm friends with her dad. I've been to his house. Like, we've played shows together.
I'm friends with your dad.
But then I'm like, I don't want to fucking jump in this. I don't want to like comment on this. Like, hey, I know her dad. Like, then I just feel like it's just like the weirdest fucking thing, right? I had a girl.
That would have easily been the most boomer shit you've ever done.
I have done it before though. Like, I had a girl come into the hotel one night, and she's booking a room, and she's I see her name, and I'm like, hey, is your dad Eddie? And she goes, yeah. I'm like, I knew your dad. I'm the one who found him on my back porch, passed out, and got him to the hospital before he died. She's like, oh, cool. Can I have my room key now?
Yeah, I would have rethought that one.
Yeah.
It's okay this time.
Yeah. I don't know. It just, it was just like, wait, I know that name. I know who you are. I don't know. Man, it's got to be. It's just weird, like knowing people's dads.
Yeah, you don't say.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you don't know my kid to be like, hey, I know your dad. Like, my kid hasn't walked into your work and you see, like, oh, hey, is your dad Joe?
I wouldn't do that though.
You
You're
would
the
no, you
creeper.
would. I'm the weird I'm the weird old guy who's just like, hey, I'm friends with your dad.
It's funnier every time you say it.
Kirsten's from the boonies. I know your dad is like the most common thing random people approach you to say. Laura wants to know what if Lexi doesn't return from the camp? Well, I mean, so here's the thing. If Lexi's the killer, she might not be able to come back. And if Lexi gets killed, she can't come back. So how is Lexi
And
gonna
it
play
becomes
the show?
Astra Beulah's show.
I guess. Can Metallica rock tie-dye Crocs, though? Metallica wouldn't rock tie-dye Crocs, but...
No, like James Hetfield is exactly the type of dude that would rock tie-dye Crocs.
Not on stage, but yeah, you're absolutely right. I could see that.
Not on stage when he's just, ATVing around his fucking property or some shit. He's what we refer to as a Craig.
While I'm walking around San Francisco, I'll be on the lookout for tie-dye Crocs and see if they're attached to James Hetfield. But
and it's plaid shorts.
Yeah. Completely different attire off stage than on.
You got to be comfortable,
Yeah.
I do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't wake up like this.
I'm not we're not a big enough band to be able to just like have a huge dressing room to change in before the show. So we got to show up wearing our show gear. The new Metallica line, tie-dye silicone cheese graters for your feet. Yeah. I don't know. They are doing like what do you call them? Collabs with like all these different brands now. Like
Metallica is?
Yeah, which is like, and none of that stuff is eligible for like the big sales they have going on right now for Black November, as they're calling it. And also I have like a percentage off from that they sent me for my birthday. And I'm like looking on the store, like I kind of want these hockey jerseys, but they're a collab with puck hockey, so I can't get the discount on them. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to just maybe buy some old school Metallica shirts instead. Boo hoo.
Stupid capitalism.
Yeah. I don't know. I could use some old school Metallica shirts. I don't know. I lost a lot of mine over the years.
I have my metal up your ass shirt. I'm good.
I don't have the shirt. I have a patch around here somewhere with the metal up your ass. I think I almost bought it because it's got the glow in the dark dude in the electric chair on the back. But I'm like, and I used to have the Ride the Lightning shirt with that. So I'm I'm looking at both of those, like, which one do I want? And then but then they've got all this Black Album stuff on sale. So like, I'm like, oh man, all these shirts my buddy Greg used to have back in high school. So I'm kind of like, I kind of want to buy some new Metallica stuff because I've got all these discounts, and at the same time, I'm just like, I kind of don't want to, I kind of don't want to spend the money. I have other stuff I got to pay, like bills, rent, that kind of stuff. Not that any of that's not paid.
Those things tend to be important.
I mean, they're all paid, but. And then I just had like $900 worth of gear I had to take out of my rig. So we'll talk about that when we come back. This is a short song here, guys. This is about a minute and a half, I think. This song is called... So I think it took me longer to write down the name of this song than it took me to record this song into the board. This is a song from a band called P.s.you'redead. They're playing Saturday at Mohawk Place, opening for See You Space Cowboy. 6:30 p.m. doors for that show, $15 in advance, 18 and over with ID and proof of vaccination or negative I think I meant to type PCR test, and masks required. So that's going on at Mohawk Place, again, Saturday, 6:30. And this is P.S. You're Dead. This song is called Here I am in feudal Japan playing Duck Duck Goose with an 8-foot troll. On all WNY, the Think So Joe Show. That was P.S. You're Dead on all WNY Think So Joe Show. Again, that song called Here I Am in Feudal Japan playing Duck Duck Goose with an 8-foot troll.
I love that. That was so much fun.
Like I said, it took me about as long to write down that song title than as it took me to record the song into the board. Hey, Rob Stiggs is here and on Facebook from Over and Out. We're going to be playing them next, actually.
What up?
Yeah.
But yeah, P.S. You're Dead. I absolutely love that.
Oh, I know you do. And like as soon as I saw they had a show this weekend, it's like, hey, Kevin's co-hosting the show. I know you love P.S. You're Dead. So it's like, you know what? I'm going to play them. So, and I think that might have been the first time we've played them on the show. So, something just fell behind me.
They recently played a show at Mohawk with another band called the Queen Guillotined. Or is it guillotined or guillotined?
I think either is actually acceptable. So,
this is America. We pronounce words the way we fucking want.
Exactly.
But yeah, they're really good too.
Do they have that on streaming services? I got it from Bandcamp. So I don't know that it's on Spotify, but I would imagine it is. Let me see what I can find out here.
The Queen Guillotined? Yeah, no, it's on Spotify. No, that's where I've been listening to it.
No, P.S. You're Dead.
No, they're on Spotify too.
Yeah, sure are. So,
Spotify search is a son of a bitch sometimes.
No, I got them. It's all one word. P.S. You're Dead. p.s.you'redead. And there's no spaces in between. And that song is on there with 4,765 listens, which I'm sure is more than our entire EP's gotten. So
we're at about 2,100 right now.
Okay.
All time.
Okay.
That's for the whole EP.
Right. Got to promote that better, I guess. We got to get out, play more shows. We got to go on tour. We got to do all that stuff. So anyway. If anyone corrects you, tell them gatekeeping language is classist AF.
There you go. Kirsten knows what's up.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you know, I say guillotine, but I mean, I've heard people say guillotine, so either way, I guess, is acceptable.
This is the difference between croissant and croissant.
Right. Yeah, I don't. You know, I just kind of, you know, if it's a word that has like multiple pronunciations that are acceptable, I usually just read it the way I would say it. So like niche instead of niche, or, you know, GIF instead of GIF.
Okay, you did that one on purpose.
I do that one on purpose all the time because that's the proper way to say it. We're not going to have that discussion again.
It's because you're a troll. You're shit. Fuck you.
I do have a shirt with a troll, a poo emoji, and a middle finger on it. So,
graphics.
Yeah. So what does scuba stand for again? That everybody says it's scuba. Laura says
I don't know this one.
Laura says it's pronounced with a P. Now I'm gonna have to look it up because I brought it up, right? So
No, that's just how you pronounce P.
Scuba is what is the acronym? Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. So you don't say scuba, right? You don't say scuba. Or scuba.
Whoa. Are you trying to apply vowel rules to consonants?
But G can be pronounced as a hard G, G, or like a J, J.
I'm not arguing that. I'm arguing your analogy here.
I'm saying that your argument of just is because it's graphics interchange means it's GIF. I'm arguing that because scuba would be scubby.
Stop tap dancing around my point, Ben Shapiro.
I'm applying logic to this here. Plus, the guy who invented the format said it's GIF, so that should be the end of it. I don't know why everybody argues this.
Those old computer guys did a lot of drugs. We can't listen to them.
Here we go. It's gig and begin. What about giraffe? Giraffe. Anyway. You going to start calling them giraffes now? Why do we get into this argument?
I'm going to, yes, actually. I'm thinking. No, I'm going to start saying giraffe just for you.
This argument just comes up all the time. All the time.
Because you started all the time.
I do. That's fair.
The only one trying to have this argument all the time is you. We're all happy in GIF world over here.
Anyway. Guys, I should have just skipped the show tonight. RJ's calling the Sabres game. Oh, well. I'll catch the second period onward, I'm sure. They've got a new thing now. They've got Rick Jenneret. It's his last season calling the Sabres. He's only calling a handful of games. Tonight is one of them. So game just started 8 seconds ago. They're doing a new thing now at KeyBank Center for the Sabres games. You can download an app to your phone and bring your headphones, and you can actually listen to the commentary during the games in real time.
Ooh.
I don't know how they do it with no latency. That's impressive to me, but cool.
They probably have better equipment than you.
I'm sure they do.
They have more money.
Yeah, that's probably true. You
gotta get those subsidies, man.
You just segued into what I was talking about before the song break, which is I just had to take $900 worth of gear out of my setup here. I've been you guys who watch this show regularly, you know I've been getting kind of like a buzzing noise out of some of the microphones in here, and like really trying to fix it. And we managed to get it out of these microphones. It was still there, but the noise gate was so low, the noise gate was killing it. But my mic in my booth was really picking up a lot of buzz, and it was really starting to get annoying. And so it's not there right now. Anyway, so I finally like had enough. I'm like, fuck this. I'm figuring out where this is coming from. So I like started plugging things into different equipment and unplugging things from things in and I come to find out, while I've got my microphones and everything plugged into a different interface, I'm sitting there with my headphones on. I start hearing music. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm thinking like, oh, this is just such a good microphone. It's picking up like, you know, my neighbor upstairs is probably listening to music or something. As I keep, you know, looking into it, I realize I'm picking up a radio station, which, you know, having had cheap guitar amps in the past is something that happens. So the next night,
makes sense.
Next night I'm sitting here and I'm still getting the, you know, I kind of minimize the noise, but I'm still getting it. It's still annoying to me. So I'm like, let me do this again and figure out what station this is. So I sit here and I get the music back in my headphones and I start scanning through the channels on my stereo, the stations. And I come across a specific frequency that is broadcasting the exact music I'm getting in with the buzzing noise. And, well, one of my neighbors just recently purchased a local radio station and broadcasts out of his home. And to the best of my knowledge, he was broadcasting with, like, over the internet to his towers, which are miles away. So I scan and I come across this station, and I don't know the number to his station, but I know he's got it on the side of his van. So 4 o'clock in the morning, threw on a hoodie, threw on some slippers, went outside, walked down the street, looked at his van. Sure enough, same call, same numbers, same frequency. So I'm just like, fuck. His station is causing some interference with a piece of equipment I have called a cloud lifter. And what the cloud lifter does, it makes it so my Shure microphone that I was using in the booth is loud enough for me to record with, without having any like extra noise from my interface. So that thing was $500. The microphone's $400. I had to take all that out of my chain, put my old microphone back in. So until I can get to a point where I can find this neighbor and be like, dude, I got a problem. Need your help. So right now I don't have any of that in the chain, so there's not going to be any signal noise, but I've got the volume on this mic like just cranked right now just to have it be clean enough for broadcast quality, but also because like, you know, these dynamic mics like I have, they take a lot of gain, which is what the cloud lifter is supposed to add, but I can't use the cloud lifter because this dude's got the radio station that I'm picking up in my equipment when I have that hooked up. So the joy
sounds like the more equipment you have, the more equipment you need to make the other equipment not sound like shit.
I mean, what I didn't try with the Shure microphone was to do what I'm doing here and just put the gain at like a level that the preamps can handle and just crank up the volume, because I really shouldn't have to do that. But the SM7B is a very gain-hungry microphone, and the Rodecaster just can't handle it on its own. But I start looking up, how do I get rid of this buzz, this noise in my cloud lifter? And apparently, like, this is a common problem with the thing, and I am out of the return window, so I don't know what to do. I got to talk to the neighbor, and if there's nothing we can do about it, then I'm going to, probably see if Jay from On the Cinder wants it, and if not, then I might just throw it up on Reverb and be like, yo, I can't use this thing. Who wants it?
It just sounds like a standard practice for any audio equipment. It's like, this wasn't going to work for my needs after all. Time to resell.
Yeah, basically. So I'm kind of bummed about it because it's $900. But the thing is, like, I can still find a use for that microphone. Like we've been working on setting up to record at our practice spot, and we had Jay come out and he set up a lot of stuff for us. One of the things we've been having some trouble with is the vocal mic for our drummer, because he beats the shit out of his drums. So that's all picking up in his mic. And one of the things that was suggested to me was to have him use an SM7B, and at that point I was using it in the booth, so I'm like, I don't really want to take this $400 microphone that I'm using for work out of my booth and put it in front of my drummer. But now I'm kind of like, now it's kind of like, well, you know, maybe this would be the best use for this if I can't use it in the booth. Luckily, I was able to use,
correct.
yeah, luckily I was able to use my old gear, and then my mic stand broke, so that was fun.
Stupid ass mic stands.
Yeah, I use these. I always buy these cheap ass things, these newer scissor arm stands, and I had a couple extra ones. One just like I'm in the middle of recording. I'm like, I want to adjust this a little bit, get this mic a little bit closer to me, and just stopped screwing in. Like I couldn't tighten it, so now the mic's just going. So I'm just like, okay, what do I do now? And luckily I had another one, so I put that in, and then I was like, I need to figure out a more proper way to do this. So now I've got just a clamp with a boom arm on it that's holding my mic, and then I'm sitting in there the other day.
See what happens when you overscrew?
Yeah, I guess. Sitting in there last night trying to adjust my microphone again, and next thing I know, it's like, oh, all these boxes just fell on my fucking head. Like, great.
At least you don't have a concussion.
Right. Kirsten says she just spent $2,500 on a camera, so she's legally not allowed to judge anyone's spending habits.
What kind of camera?
Good question.
Well, I mean, she's not going to answer right away. We can fill the time.
You're absolutely right. I've got about $1,000 worth of camera equipment here, and I don't take pictures.
I have my phone. I'm recording. I'm on my phone right now. That's the only camera I have other than the laptop, which is shitty.
She's got the Canon EOS R6.
I don't know anything about that.
I've got a couple of Canon cameras. I've got the we shoot the show with the and things you might not know with the I want to say it's an M200. I can't see it because the teleprompter's in the way. I'm pretty sure it's an M200. I've got the previous generation here. I've got the EO5 Rebel T5i, which is not nearly as good as an R6. R6 is a really good camera. She says great for low light and fast autofocus and 12 frames per second burst mode, which is like it takes 12 pictures in a second, so you can pick the best one. Yeah,
I was writing for a guy that did a videography channel for a while, and he had me write a lot of shit about the Blackmagic cameras.
Okay.
So, like, I learned a bunch about those, but that's as far as that goes for me.
The Blackmagic cameras are supposed to be really fucking good for video, but they're also, like, kind of expensive. So it's the Canons for me. I started shooting. I bought the EO5 for things you might not know in the first place, and shot all those early videos with it, and then we started using it when we started doing video on this show, but it's not meant to be a streaming camera, so it's not, like it's you have to. What we were doing was there's software for remote shooting, and we were just like screen grabbing that and sending the screen grab out as our video. And then Canon released kind of a webcam utility that you could use on some of these older cameras that you could use as a webcam, but it didn't shoot in full HD. So that was kind of a problem. Because I wanted to shoot in full HD, and Laura has to go. She has a billion times to do. She hopes the buzzing noise comes back. I've taken precautions to not have that. So anyway, I love how she hopes I can't make money. Basically, I can't work if I have that buzzing noise.
Hey, that buzzing noise feels good in some people's brains.
I guess so. Anyway, so but then we upgraded to the M200 because the M200 has what they call clean HDMI. So you run an HDMI cable out from it, and you could get rid of all the like overlay stuff, like the battery display and the viewfinder and all that kind of stuff. So that's what we've been shooting this show and Things You Might Not Know. And when I was doing the gaming stuff, that's the camera I've been using for all that. Which it's a much better camera than the EO5. And also this shoots in like 4K and shoots 60 frames a second and all that shit, all that. So we do this podcast and Things You Might Not Know in 60 frames per second full HD. I haven't dabbled in 4K because I don't have any 4K monitors to actually work on that with. So trying to remedy that, but also not wanting to spend the money on that when I'm trying to, especially because like what I really want to do is just replace this TV, which is a 720p, 24-inch TV.
720p is for poor people.
The thing about it is, like, I couldn't find at the time anything 1080 in this size, and I'm like, it'll be fine. But what the problem that I run into is my video games, like my Xbox, my Switch, are all connected to a splitter that goes, one end goes into the computer, which picks up at 1080, and then into the out from the computer into the TV. And I can't make it go out from the computer into the TV at 720. So it's going out to 1080, and like everything looks okay except like text. So like if I'm playing Animal Crossing and there's like words on the bottom of the screen, they're readable but they're distorted, and like playing like EA Sports games, the logo's up in the corner, you can't read the logo. So it's like, man,
make it feel like you're with an NES on channel 3 again.
Basically, yeah. So it's like I need like if I could get a 1080 monitor or a 4K monitor in here would be great. And now they have this exact TV I have in 1080. And it's they have it on sale right now for the Black Friday deals or whatever. So I might pick one of those up, because then all I have to do is just swap out this TV and I don't got to worry about making more room for a bigger TV or anything like that. And then I have 1080. I still don't have 4K. It doesn't solve that problem. But at least I'll have, be able to see my video games the way they're meant to be played, I guess.
Do you even have room in there for anything else?
Yeah. I could put something over here probably. There's room. I don't have room. Like my daughter came in here one time and she was like, "Wow, I really love how you use your vertical space." Which is what I have to do, because I have a 10 by 10 room, or maybe 12 by 12. I have so much shit. I have this big ass desk. I got the record shelf back there. I've got this table with the records and everything over here. So it's like I really have to maximize my vertical space to be able to do everything I do in here. So yeah, there's barely room to move in here. And then as I get more stuff, and then like boxes start piling up, and before I get a chance to get them out to recycling, and like this chair is here turned this way because there was stuff on the table, and I'm just like, yeah, this will cover up the stuff on the table, but it didn't. So I had to like still move some shit out of the way. Now I think there's like nothing in the way there. Yeah, there's like nothing on the table there except a couple of hockey pucks, but. But yeah, it's.
What are you looking at, you hockey puck?
I was watching one of our videos back, and of us playing Earth Angel, and you made a theater reference that nobody got, and Brian goes, "You uncultured swine!" And I look at him and I go, "What are you looking at, you hockey puck?" And everybody just cheers, and I'm like, "Yeah, they got that one."
Didn't you post that somewhere recently, that specific video?
I probably did. Because I know it came up recently in like memories or something, so I put it up. Pretty soon I'll put up the us doing Blink with the Rick Astley Blink Out. So, because I know that one's gonna come up in my memories soon.
That was the first time we did it, was the Thanksgiving Eve show at Tudor, right?
No, we did it at my birthday show a couple of weeks prior at Stamps. And we didn't use the video from that one. I'd imagine that's like, I'm not going to call out anybody specifically, but somebody was standing directly in front of the camera through half that set, so it might not have been something that we could have used. not usable footage. But then, so it was like, okay, when we do it at the next show, I'll make sure to, put that up somewhere. So it was the second time.
So the problem is that people were watching us.
Yes. No, it was not that people were watching. It was that people were specifically standing directly in front of the camera and having a conversation. And again,
Next time, put the camera higher.
I guess. I don't think I could have. I think the problem with stamps is, like, you can only put the camera as high as the tripod will go. And I think back then I only had a tripod that didn't go up nearly as high as the one I've got now. And that's if you're keeping the camera plugged in, which for a half hour, 45-minute set, you kind of have to, or the battery's going to die. So I hate when people talk throughout a show like, why are you here? Yeah, I agree. I mean, of course, I was sitting there texting you guys all through Anti-Flag the other. I'm wearing one of their shirts. You can't tell it's one of their shirts, but I'm wearing one of their shirts. I got it because you couldn't tell it was one of their shirts. It says, drop pucks, not bombs. And
so then why would you even get it?
Hockey.
Fair enough.
Yeah, like if you're just looking at this on the camera right now, maybe if you're watching it full screen, maybe you can tell that this says Anti-Flag and the NHL logo here. But if you're just looking at this in like the small window here, like I'm looking at, it just looks like an NHL logo.
Fair enough.
I do have, I did get a shirt that does have Anti-Flag's logo on it very prominently, but I got that because it was for Punk Rock Saves Lives, which is a Facebook group that Karina and I are in, and they do basically what they say they do. They're punks trying to help other punks. And they were on tour with Anti-Flag this time. They had a couple of just Punk Rock Saves Lives. They had a hoodie which was $50. They had another shirt that they only had like in 3X. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna get the Anti-Flag one because I definitely want to buy a shirt from them to support them. So we got some patches and stuff too. They were actually getting people to sign up for the bone marrow registry at this show. So, in an effort to kind of get people to sign up for the bone marrow registry, so people who need bone marrow transplants or whatever would be able to have access to those. They also have a program. I forget what the name of the program is, but they have a program where they supply feminine products to those in need who can't get them otherwise, which we thought was cool because they had a little display box with their patches, their stickers and stuff like that, and they had like tampons in there. And Karina was like, I think that's the coolest thing. And the dude that was there selling them is actually like him and his wife run the Punk Rock Saves Lives organization, and he was telling us all about that initiative. Which is just really cool. That group is really positive to be in. And you get like stories from punks who are, going through some shit, and they're always, everybody in there is like really helpful. Nobody's a dick,
Cool.
Yeah. So I had to buy some merch from them, and it just happened to be it had Anti-Flag on the shirt. So which I will probably
feel bad for making fun of you.
I will probably wear that shirt in the next Things You Might Not Know whenever I shoot that. So if I remember, send Kirsten an invite. I will definitely send you an invite. I'll send you an invite too, Kev, just because I
would like that.
It's a great group to be in. But yeah, they have that, and they also have, I guess, a secondary, not that the group is secondary to the Punk Rock Saves Lives group. They have a second group that is dedicated specifically to mental health. So, which I don't think I'm a part of that one, but they're like, if anybody ever needs anybody, like needs to reach out, needs someone to talk to, that group is there.
Pretty cool.
So really cool to that they were on tour with Anti-Flag, and we got to meet the dude and talk to the dude for a little bit. We're gonna play some music now. This is it's Over and Out. It's our friends of the show. Rob was listening earlier. I don't know if he still is. Over and Out is playing Saturday at Hotel Dalmatia as part of On the Cinders Sedentary Escape release party. That show starts at 7 p.m. Cover is $5 to $10. Pay what you want. But if you pay $15, you get admission and a copy of Sedentary Escape on 10-inch vinyl. So I've already got that, so I'll just make the $10 donation at the door. I am planning on going on Saturday, so hopefully I'll see some of the viewers out there and enjoying that show. That's going to be a killer show, but Over and Out's on that one. This song is called Agree to Disagree on All WNY and ThinkSoJoE Show.
Drinks will do shots, and then later on take your shot at me. It gets late, and you know can't be friends anymore. Life's so short, don't give up. This is it, all we've got. I seem to be so depressed, kind of like I was when I was young. Back then I would get so upset. Instead of just hanging out, having fun. It gets late, and you know, can't be friends anymore. Life's so short, don't give up. This is it, all we've got. Let's agree to disagree. Get this resolved, please don't shout at me. I know that I'll stop making sense, but somehow we continue arguing. It gets late, and you know, can't be friends anymore. Life's so short, don't give up. This is it, all we've got. It gets late, and you know, can't be friends anymore. Life's so short, don't give up. This is it, all we've got. It's the way it should be. I'm not yours, can't you see? You don't care, I don't mind. This is our waste of time.
Over and Out on All WNY. ThinkSoJoE Show. A great song about mental health to continue on from what we were talking about before the break. I just sent you and Kirsten invites. I am actually in the mental health group as opposed to the straight up punk rock saves lives group. So that's what I sent you guys a link to. It's a great group to be in nonetheless. So, but a great organization, great cause, just trying to help, punks less fortunate than other punks, I don't have you unmuted. There you are. I hit a wrong button somewhere.
No.
There you are.
I've been muted this whole time?
Just since we got back from the song break.
You son of a bitch.
I hit the button to mute like a phone caller instead of to unmute it, to mute a phone caller rather than unmute the USB connection. So, okay.
And I'm sure it was accidental.
It absolutely was. I thought I had my fingers on the microphone and the USB button, but what are you going to do? Yes, Rob, I will indeed send you an invite to that group. Actually, let me do that right now while I'm thinking about it because I will forget.
Right now. Hey.
There we go. Send invites. There we go. Cool, man.
Oh, I didn't just get us demonetized, did I?
I don't even know what you were singing, so probably not.
Wait.
I mean, we're not making money off this anyway, so we've made money off the podcast, and I can tell you exactly how much. That is over the course of time that we've had this podcast going out on Anchor, as our distributor. We've made $20.52.
Ooh, and how what's the course of time we're looking at for that?
Looks like since April of 2019. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Rolling in it. No wonder you can afford all that equipment.
Yeah, right. Yeah, totally from this podcast, not at all from work. Using this equipment to make the money to buy more equipment, and now I'm looking at more guitar equipment, and now I'm looking at more audio equipment, and more like I have a rack in here now, so it's like, ooh, what can I get for this rack? Which the cloud lifter was the whole impetus of me buying the rack, and now I can't, I'm not using it. So
use it for decoration,
I guess. No, I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna probably try and find out, what, if there's anything my neighbor and I can kind of work out where I'm not getting interference like that, or I might try to put it elsewhere in the room and see if that helps. But worst case scenario, I'll just throw it up on reverb and be like, yo guys, I can't use this. Try and get some of my money back on it.
Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, it is what it is. I thought, hey, if I get this cloud lifter and I get this, really good vocal microphone, like the SM7B is like the microphone of choice for like many, many, many music producers. It's been used on albums such as like Thriller and the Black Album. So, like really top selling albums. So it's like, all right, if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for my voiceover stuff.
Listen, none of it's going to be better than my SM55. I'm just going to record everything with that. It'll sound great, I promise.
That's the fancy looking one, right? The old fashioned like silver one. Yeah. I wanted one of those for the longest time, especially when I was like singing in a band. And then like they released like black ones and I'm like, ooh, but I could never afford them at the time. And now that I can afford them, I'm like, I really have no use for that. I mean, I guess I
love that thing.
I could put it on my, on my mic stand and use it while we're playing and just be like, mini Metallica up on stage. Except they have black ones with like, the grill cloth is red.
Oh yeah, no. When Nikki got me the silver and blue one, she was originally going to get me the black and red one, but apparently that one was very hard to come by.
Yeah.
I have been lusting over that style microphone since I was like 17 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very happy to have one.
We played the Long Cold Dark earlier. Would it surprise you to know that they do have the black one? Huge Metallica fans over there have the black SM55. I'll tell you what, man. I started voiceover with an SM58, and like the cheapest fucking this thing actually. Radio Shack 4-channel stereo sound mixer with 1/4-inch inputs. And no like USB out. I had to take an aux to 1/8-inch cable into the mic input on my computer. And that's what I started podcasting at home with, and I started, what the fuck, man? It was 1-0 Buffalo. Now it's 3-0 Boston. Anyway. But yeah,
Oh no!
I started, I mean, I'm kind of glad I decided to do the show instead of going to the game tonight.
I am also glad, because otherwise I would just be sitting on my couch right now.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like, I'll get back to games eventually. Right now, my plan is to go to the Over and Out show on over on the Cinder show on Saturday night, and then not leave my house for 2 weeks as I wait to go to, or 3, I guess. Let me see. That'd be 3 weeks. Not leave my house for 3 weeks before I go to San Francisco.
Playing it safe.
Yeah, I might. I haven't. I gotta look again at like what the releases are for Record Store Day, for Black Friday Record Store Day. I might go to Revolver at like 3 a.m. and sit outside in the cold and wait to go in and buy some records, but and that mostly just for the social aspect of it, because I don't think there's really anything I'm super interested in that in this year's Black Friday releases, but
I don't do Record Store Day stuff. I don't see the point personally.
It depends if you want something, honestly. Like the last time I was like, I want to get, here's a list of stuff I want to get. So I got there like the first time I had a list of stuff I wanted, and I also had a list of stuff Brian wanted, because Brian was like, hey, I can't go. Can you get me some of this stuff? And I got him half of what he was looking for, because I showed up at 7 o'clock, not knowing it was a thing that people lined up at 4 o'clock in the morning for. So when I went the second time, it's raining, and I went at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm sitting out. It's me and just this other dude just sitting right outside the door under the awning, umbrellas out, just kind of like having a chat. And I think I posted something earlier in the year like, yeah, I don't really see anything in this Black Friday release I want. And the dude that was sitting next to me outside at the record store was like, yeah, I'll see you on Black Friday. So now I'm kind of thinking like, man, maybe there's something I want. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
But like sometimes you'll get a release. Like last year, I've now got this, but not the Record Store Day exclusive release. Was Space Hog Resident Alien, which I know is one of your favorite albums and mine. I discovered it way later than like it came out. Like I got it as like a deal for a digital download, or I found it somewhere on CD and I bought it, and I'm just like listening to it. It's like, oh man, why didn't I buy this like back when it came out? And so when it came out on vinyl and I saw it was a Record Store Day release, it was during the pandemic. I mean, not that we're not still in the middle of the pandemic, but it was during like lockdown, and I couldn't like go out and get it. I mean, I suppose I could, but I was going with Brian later in the day. And by the time I got there, they didn't have it. And I was kind of bummed about that. And it never dropped in price. I'm sure it has now that they've like released another version of it, that as soon as I saw was like, I'm going out first thing tomorrow and I'm buying this, because I need this record on vinyl.
I'll get that one.
Yeah. But like, it's a problem of, some of these things you're not going to be able to get. A lot of the things you can get later for like the same price or maybe even less. I mean, like right now, if you wanted to get Green Jello's Record Store Day release from a couple of years ago, which is the Green Jello Sucks documentary soundtrack, that's still like everywhere. Plus, the record label ended up re-releasing all of their Record Store Day stuff. But there's Record Store Day stuff where, like, you can't get it for less than $100. And I'm not spending that much on a single record, like a box set maybe, but I'm not gonna.
I just hate. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I just hate the culture that's been built around it. Like it's the same thing with like Free Comic Book Day, where like it's something that used to be fun and it used to be for people who genuinely liked the shit, but now it's taken over by the people who just want to buy the shit so they can turn around and resell the shit at a 300% fucking profit.
I'll tell you what, when I went to the last one, and I went at 4 a.m, and I'm sitting next to this dude, and I find out that this dude is the dude that's there first every time. And the first one I went to, when I got there at 7 o'clock, we saw this dude go in, and he comes out with boxes of records, and we're just thinking like, oh, fuck, that's all going to go up on eBay. As I'm sitting there talking to this dude, he's like, dude, I've never sold a record in my life. I literally bought what I wanted and went home, and I've listened to all of them since then. Most recently, at that point, he had listened to Rage Against the Machine's live album that they had put out for the first record store day this year, and said his wife really hated it. But now I'm right behind this guy in line, and I'm watching him. He's got a list. He knows what he wants. His wife kind of shows up like at the last minute, which didn't help the appearance of him flipping things. But apparently, like, he just can't carry all that shit, so his wife comes and helps him. But he literally was like, he bought one of everything he wanted. Like, people were thinking like, oh, she comes, gets in line with him, and then they both buy one of everything. Which is not the case. He literally just buys one of everything he wants. He doesn't buy anything he doesn't want, and pays for it with his credit card. I think he paid like $1,400 in front of me last time. So you know, but everybody in line was like, oh, that dude, those are all going to be up on eBay, and apparently not.
Because that's unfortunately the case most of the time.
Absolutely. You know what I found out yesterday is Terry Funk, the pro wrestler, for those of you who don't know, legendary hardcore pro wrestler, actually has 2 albums out.
I believe that.
And I was on, as soon as I found this out, I was immediately on Discogs trying to see how much it would cost me to get both of them, because the timing lined up with they would have been out on vinyl. And so the cheapest copy of his album Great Texan is going for $174.99 US shipped, in very good condition. The cheapest one in near mint condition is $407.99. And his other album, Texas Bronco, is much more reasonable. The cheapest one is going for $58.99.
Such reasonable. Much wow.
Much more reasonable than $400 for him. I'll tell you what, man. I sat there like because I found that, like I mentioned, I was doing the Terry Funk story for Wrestle with Andy, and he when I sent him that information this morning, because I stopped in the middle of the script just to be like, I'm gonna forget about this if I don't look at this right now. So I sent him that information, and he sent me one of the songs, which is called Barbra Streisand's Nose, and it's set to the music is basically Beat It by Michael Jackson. And so I'm like, this isn't even half bad. I mean, it's terrible because it's you know, Terry Funk can't sing, but at the same time, it's like, for Terry Funk singing this stuff, this is actually not terrible. And I listened to the rest of it, and it's just like this complete like pop record, and it's like, what the fuck? And so I ended up just you know, I listened to the whole thing on YouTube, and I'm like, I would totally buy this if it wasn't $400.
$400. What the fuck?
Yeah,
sorry, what the fuck?
That's a little too much for me, is the 400. So the most I think I've spent on a record was probably around 200, and that was for a box set, you know, like, wasn't for anything used. Like, I have a record I want in my want list, and it's been in my want list because I can't find it for less than $90. And it's like, it's not worth $90 to me. Like, I would pay maybe 40, 50 at the most. I think the least I've seen it was like 65, and I'm like, maybe. And then I'm like, nah. and that's it's a band called Common Rider. It's literally their only album. And I have a 7-inch, which is actually it's actually Karina's. I have a 7-inch of theirs, and one of the songs has Billy Joe Armstrong on it from Green Day.
Interesting.
Yeah. Billy Joe Armstrong did a lot of shit around the time Green Day hit it big, including doing Common Rider. Right. He wrote Radio with Rancid. So, yeah, he did a lot of shit back then. He's still doing a lot of shit. He's still got like Foxborough hot tubs and all that shit. So,
thinking about this, and I think the most I've ever paid for a record is $20.
I wish I could find records for $20 at this point. Actually, I just bought one for $20 last week. I bought Sugar Cult Start Static.
Well, I used to get a lot of mine when I was a store manager for Hot Topic.
Fair.
And I had a 20% discount on all music. So
fair. Yeah, I was going to go to the record store last week. I was just kind of like, I feel like getting out of the house. Let me go to the record store. Let me see, look through the used bin and kind of buy some of the shit that I have seen on their Facebook page that I was like, I want that, but haven't had the desire to like go or the time to go. But then I'm sitting there, and the only thing I found that I really wanted that's come out in the past couple of months was Start Static by Sugar Cult. And I'm like, do I really want to go to the record store for that? And then I went on their website, and I'm like, I could just order it and have it shipped. And then I'm like, can I just get it cheaper on Amazon? And I got it for like $20 on Amazon. When Brian and I were driving up to John's house one day, he was listening to Sugar Cult, and he was listening to both Start Static and Palm Trees and Power Lines, the follow-up album. And we start talking about Sugar Cult, and Brian's like, yeah, I really wish they would put this out on vinyl, but I asked them about it, and they said it's up to the record label because they don't own the songs. And now the record label has put out Start Static, 20th anniversary edition. I'm like, man, Brian's not here to enjoy this.
Yeah.
I will enjoy it on his behalf. I was a fan of that band when they were still doing stuff. So I got Palm Trees and Power Lines, that second record. I got I actually got straight from their record label. I got the CD back in the day, right? I think before it came out. I was supposed to go interview Sugar Cult. We were doing I had a website at the time called stupid5pin.com, which was my buddy and I started it. We were working as DJs at the local bowling alley, and we'd quite often just leave the 5-pin when we were bowling, and we just a stupid 5-pin, and that evolved to like stupid5pin.com, and then I bought the domain, and we started doing stuff with that. And I was gonna do a secondary, like a sub site of that. That was just like an entertainment blog where we would talk about music and stuff, which is actually how I ended up on like Damage Plan's mailing list and wound up finding out about Dimebag like the morning after he was killed. Was being on that mailing list because I was trying to get like stuff for giveaways and stuff like that, or on that street team anyway. But I was trying to set up to interview Sugar Cult, and I actually managed to they sent me a press kit and all that. It had the new album and all the press release stuff that surrounded it. And I was supposed to go interview them on Easter at a place called, what the fuck was the name of the place? I think it was Club Infinity. Was that the one in like Clarence or wherever the fuck, like out of the like right in the like way out of the way there?
Yep, I've been there a few times.
Yeah. I wasn't I didn't have a car at that point. Like I had a license at that point, but I didn't have a car. And it was like 17 years ago, so my kid was like just a baby, and it was Easter, so it was Sunday, so the bus schedules were all fucked. So I was like, I will figure this out. I'm gonna do this interview, and then I'll figure it out. But my kid's mom, right, rightly to an extent, was like, no, you need to, like, that's, how are you getting home? What are you doing? You gotta, you have a kid at home that you need to be home taking care of. And to an extent, she was kind of right. But at the same time, I'm still mad about it. I come to find out from some other friends of mine who actually would like help me out in getting like contact info for publicists, that like Sugar Cult had an Easter egg hunt for all the press that was there. So I'm like, damn it, I missed this. Like, that would have been so much fun to do, but I got talked out of it. So,
it's not that she's wrong. You're just salty.
Yeah, right. Sure. We'll go with it. I mean, she used that excuse for a lot of stuff that I could have done back then that, I never ended up doing. Like, becoming a pro wrestling referee. Actually, I was going to become a manager. I was going to be a referee first, and they were going to turn me heel, and I was going to manage one of their acts that they were trying to get over. But they, and I went and I hung out at like where they did the training for the local wrestling promotion, Empire State Wrestling, back in the day, which was on like Williams Road, or no, on Niagara Falls Boulevard, just past Williams Road, where the Summit Park Mall is there, and actually a little bit past the airport. And I went there and I hung out. My buddy Inferno Johnny Adams was one of the trainers there, so I got to go hang out with him. And I refereed a match. And they're like, "You're better than our actual referees." I'd never done it before. This was my first time. So they had like this really big dude. I forget his name, but he took a bump, and like they were training him like how to work a big man match. So they're like, okay, I'm going to try and body slam you. I can't do it. I'm going to try and body slam you. I can't do it. And then I'm going to body slam you. And so once he took that body slam, I kind of like, as soon as he hit the mat, I jumped just to kind of make it look like, the mat shook. And, but they were like, dude, that was like so cool. We, that you did that. Like our actual referees aren't as good as you. And so I was gonna do that, but I got talked out of it, and I'm that one I disagree with, because I would have been gone like one night a month to do the shows. So
that sounds like a fun job,
and I would have been making money. You know what I mean? So like I disagreed with that one, but she won that argument, and I never ended up doing it. So I never did get directly involved in the pro wrestling industry. Anyway. We're past the time we were supposed to stop talking. I didn't set a timer.
Oh no, they might fine us.
I didn't set a timer this week. This is I actually met one of the dudes from this band at our last show that we played, the one at Tudor. He was there. He told us how much he actually enjoyed our set, which was cool.
Oh.
I think this might be the first time we're actually playing their band on this show, though. This is Soul Butchers, who are playing Revolution Gallery's 5-year anniversary at 9 p.m. on Friday. That show is 21 and over, and proof of vaccination is required. And this is Soul Butchers. This song's called Landfall. And we'll see you guys next week right here on All WNY ThinkSoJoE Show. There's the button.